This meeting is being recorded.
All right, dudes. With the turn of the calendar to 2023, first 2023 episode of the Spicer Speaking podcast, as regular listeners know, annually means we are all Amex all the time, both for this episode and the subsequent episode next week, when we will enjoy the 64th edition of the American Express as the PGA Tour returns to our desert proper. It means a palpable and pleasing roster of guests both this week and next week. And we start at the top of the totem. Welcome Pat McCabe, Executive Director of the American Express, to the Spicer Speaking podcast. Hello, Pat.
Judd, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. A couple of questions on the, I guess just one question on the personal front. You and I talked about this. You are a father.
Yes, sir.
You are a father of one?
I am now, as of the 19th of December, a father of two. So,
okay.
Yes, it was a great, joyous holiday season for our family. We welcomed a baby boy on the 19th of December.
Outstanding, and congratulations. You had mentioned that at the Amex Media Day, and
yeah,
I think that's probably good timing for you, professionally speaking. I didn't want to see you running around with the phone on your hip during the Amex, but you said it was going to happen right around the New Year. So congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. We are excited to welcome the new addition, and his name is Palmer. So a little golf nod, of course, and yeah, it's awesome.
Great name. All right, from the family circle to the desert golf circle, let's jump into the 64th Amex. I got to say, I've been covering this tournament for 12 years now, Pat. I think that you have run this tournament. I want to say I had to go back into my email archives. I had I think it was 2018. Was that your first year?
I think that's right. So I think this will be my sixth edition, right?
According to my Minnesota math, this would be tournament number 6 for you. According to my experience with the Amex, this is the best field that we've ever seen. Let's look at the numbers a little bit. We've got 4 of the top 6 in the world coming here next week. Again, that's January 19th to the 22nd. 5 of the top 7, 9 of the top 19, 10 of the top 23. And by the way, when you look at, say, that 4 of the top 6, that also includes Cam Smith. He is not with us anymore. He's not dead, but he doesn't play in the PGA Tour anymore. So blah. So we can say 4 of the top 5 in the world. Kudos to you, Pat, for putting together this field. We'll get into the players a little bit, but broadly speaking, how'd you do it?
Yeah, I mean, overall, we are excited. Thanks. It is. It's been building for years, really. The quality of the field, of course, and I mean, you mentioned that upper echelon group, right? So those guys are Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele and John Rahm and Scotty Scheffler, of course. But then as you go down, not much further, you got Tony Finau, you have Will Zalatoris, you have Tom Kim. So no, it's really fantastic. And then that doesn't even take into account, fan favorites like Ricky Fowler and others. So, truly a testament to Amex, American Express, our title sponsor. We are playing for $8 million this year, which is the highest purse that we've played for. Back in 2019, I think we were at about 5.9. So, I mean, I think that has something to do with it, of course. But also, I mean, look, La Quinta is a fabulous place to start the season, as we've talked many a time, right? You've got usually pretty perfect weather. You've got great amenities. You have incredible golf courses, not just part of the rotation at PGA West and La Quinta Country Club, but all the great clubs in the greater Coachella Valley that guys come out early, they practice, they bring their families. They've got relationships here in the desert. They may choose to go to Hawaii, but it's a great place to start the new year for sure.
Maybe now more than ever, and we'll get into some of these reasons why. I think that the onus is on you to create a great field like this. Perhaps one could even use the word pressure. Pull back the curtain a little bit, Pat. I mean, are you hitting the phones with this come the fall season? Are people calling you and asking questions? I mean, how are you getting together this kind of the field of this gravity?
Yeah, certainly. I think it, I mean, again, it helps to see that some of the top guys have played here recently, right? I mean, you've had John Rahm, you've had Tony Finau, you've had Scotty and Patrick play the last couple of years. So they're an advocate of it. Of course, I mentioned Amex and some of their relationships, and then again, it's I mean, some of it's luck, candidly, right? It's there's a lot of events on the PGA Tour every single week. There's a fantastic event on the PGA Tour, and we know that there's now a new elevated component to it with higher purses and stuff. And I've said this a few times that I think that the fact that there is only one other quote unquote elevated event in the month of January has helped. Just with regards to the fact that guys still have to play, of course, and as you start getting into that stretch run of later in the winter and then the spring and summer, there's 2 or 3 per month, which the guys will definitely play in. So I think that certainly helps as well. So
Among those names, and this is one I've been hoping to see for years as you put together stronger and stronger fields. Xander Schauffele is a San Diego native. He broke his PGA Tour maiden out here back in the 2015-16 season. So on the calendar year, it was 2016. I remember sitting down with the young Xander back in 2016, and I did an interview for the SCGA. It was his first PGA Tour event. He would also play the year following out here, and he hasn't played out here since 2017. I
yeah,
remember when I was sitting down with him, Pat, and thinking, God, this is just, he's at the time, I mean, he was like 22. He was a little guy. He was such a young guy. He was so very polite, but a little nervous and a little sheepish, even
of
sitting
course.
down talking to me. And look at him now. Dude's a total world beater, won 7 times on the PGA Tour, the sixth ranked player in the world. We know he's got a major coming. I mean, to me, this is the name that I've wanted to see rejoin this cast for years. How'd you get that one done?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, certainly is. I mean, I'm hoping the best for him. I know he's dealing with a little bit of injury here, right? Over you saw him at Century pull out, but I think that was hopefully just to protect the remainder of the season. Again, yeah, Southern California guy. Been able to build a strong field around him. It helps. Patrick has played the last number of years. I know Xander and Patrick are very close, so I think a variety of different factors, and we're certainly excited to have him and welcome him here. And I'm sure he'll go play his hometown event, of course, the following week at Torrey Pines as well.
And that's what he's done historically. He's gone to the Tournament of Champions, then he's taken a couple of weeks off, then he's gone to his native San Diego. So kudos on that get. You referenced that he did have to pull out with the back injury, but he didn't reference anything himself that was too major or really problematic. He did start that event before pulling out. So fingers crossed that we'll see him in the desert next week. Don't want to delve super far into this, Pat, but it's germane to the conversation. I think we're all a little exhausted of talking about live golf. However, for your tournament in particular, the defending champion, Hudson Swafford, is one of the defectors. He has actually won the tournament 2 times. There are also a couple past champions that were regularly in the field. Pat Perez and Phil Mickelson, they have also defected to live golf. Does that bug you?
Nothing I can do to control it, So we're focused on what we have next week. We're focused on, as you mentioned, too, the 5 of the top 7 and 9 of the top 15, right? So it's nothing I can certainly control in my world. If anything, it forces me as an event operator and a tournament director with the PGA Tour event to just look at the product that we're putting out for our players, whether it's the amenities offered, the things that we can provide for them and their family that travel with them. So no, not at all. We're focused on next week and the future, and the longevity that this event has had, right? 64 years now, 60+ million to charity. That's what we hang our hat on at the end of the day.
I don't want to belabor the point, but just a brief follow up. I mean, I hate live golf. I think it's disgusting, and I think it's set up for failure, Pat. But has it made your job tougher?
It's I think competitive tours they're a part of business, right? And so it's like I said, it forces us to look at what we do day in and day out as far as amenities, as far as tournament operations as far as the fan experience. So it's allowed us to get better. And so for that, I have no concerns. And again, we are so thankful for American Express. They are our title sponsor until 2028, which is fantastic. Which means that we're going to continue to have great tournaments. We're going to continue to give money to local businesses and local charities. So again, we've got eyes on the future, and can't control what else is happening in the world of golf.
Friends, you're tuning into the Spicer Speaking podcast. Pat McCabe, the executive director of the American Express Golf Tournament. He is my guest. We are ready for the 64th edition, returning to our backyard in La Quinta, California next week. Tickets and information available online. I suggest you get them today at theamexgolf.com. Part of the event, and a growing part of the event, I feel safe to say, has been the accompanying concert element. I've seen a lot of big names out here complimenting the field, Pat. I mean, the names that you brought in this year: Gwen Stefani following play on the PGA West driving range. Right after play, attendance comes with purchase of any ticket. That's Friday, January 20th, and then Darius Rucker Saturday, the 21st, the night following. Do you feel that the concerts have also gotten bigger as you've been able to grow the quality of the field?
Yeah, I think so. Again, I go back to Amex, right, and their focus on premium experiences for both their card members and spectators attending the event. So that means premium fan venues out in the golf course. That means premium golfers participating in the event, and then premium after golf experiences. So you've seen back in 2020 with Luke Bryan and Stevie Nicks, and then of course last year with Maroon 5 and Brad Paisley, and this year again we're very excited. Both are Gwen is Southern California native. She's got the pop rock following from Anaheim, and then of course Darius, the country western, and even the Hootie and the Blowfish stuff, and is a big golf aficionado as well. So two completely different acts and genres, but two that we're equally as excited about.
Do you feel that, I guess I personally sense that one of the goals when the concert started was to bring more people, more fans to the golf arena that might not otherwise buy a ticket? Maybe a non-traditional golf fan, get them on the property, let them watch the product a little bit, let them stroll the beautiful fairways to, for a little time, watch a few holes, and then go to the concert. But over the years, do you sense that more people, by virtue of going to the concerts, have now gotten interested in watching Amex Golf?
I would think so. Again, it is an event. It's not just a golf tournament, right? Yeah, we're going to crown a champion on Sunday in both our Pro-Am and, of course, the PGA Tour winner with all the bells and whistles that entails, the FedEx Cup points and the purse and stuff, and a great, beautiful trophy. But outside the ropes is what we know we can help control, and that's the fan amenities. That is, again, the spectator venues that we have on site. Two new ones to call out this year. We've got our Patriots Outpost on the 9th green, which is open to any active duty, retired military and veterans and a guest, which is great. They'll be able to go in there on the 9th green. And then on also 9th green / first tee, there's a new fan venue we're calling the Turn this year, which is really going to be fun. We're going to have food and beverage from Cheeky's there in Palm Springs. We're going to have a pop-up exclusive Malbin golf experience where you can only buy that product here on site at the MX. A great big video board, great fan zone. So, we continue to tweak those elements in addition to, the stuff on 17 and 18 and the different places to eat and drink. So, yeah, I think so. And we also, we want to try and make it affordable, right? We have reduced our prices from last year so that people, if you want to come just for golf or just for music, you feel okay about that price. But if you want to do both, it is certainly a heck of a deal as well.
Wanted to reference that as well. We live in a time and a culture and a society where we're, I guess, unfortunately used to things just costing more, oftentimes egregiously so. I did make mention in one article that I put out thus far that you guys were actually able to reduce your prices for many, if not most, of the ticket options, as you said. Was that a conscious effort given life and times and the culture that we live in, Pat?
I think so, and I think it's again, it's we want to create value, and we want to recognize that there is something for everyone, right? So it's you can come out on Thursday or Sunday for $50 or 20% off if you're a card member, uh, or you can come out on the weekend and high level premium opportunity in the Champions Club for $400. So we wanted to ladder and really offer something for everybody and anyone, family friendly, kids 15 and under, or of course complimentary with paid adults on top of that. So yeah, it's important to us. It's important to American Express that we get people out here watching the event and enjoying it.
You referenced some of the new goings on at the tournament this year that you've put together. I personally, when I watch or cover the event, I like to stroll. I'm a stroller. Go walk for about a half hour, then take a seat somewhere, and then walk for another half hour. That's just how I like to watch the action. What are a couple of your favorite perches to watch golf at PGA West, whether it be the stadium course, the Nick tournament, or maybe over at La Quinta Country Club? Any particular perches that you like or might
Yeah,
recommend
totally.
to fans?
I mean, I think it's the cool part is as you mentioned, there are 3 golf courses, and you can go to all 3 of them with your ticket. You can go back and forth. Typically some of the marquee players start over at La Quinta on Thursday, which is a really fun place to watch. It's a beautiful golf course. It's been in the rotation 51 years. That first tee, 9th green, 18th green area is all just very, very close to one another. There's some good vantage points as you get a little bit deeper into the property where you can watch multiple shots in that 17 and 11 area. At the Nick tournament course, it's hard to beat 9 and 18 green, literally sharing a green. You can view it from the clubhouse. There's a concession area right there that tends to be a really fun spot to watch multiple holes. And then on stadium, I mean, that closing stretch, of course, right? If you're on 17, you can watch the approach on 17, look over to 11. You can sit on 16 green and also see the tee-ball on 17. So there's a lot of good spots to kind of check. And that's the beauty of a Pete Dye designed stadium golf course, really having the multiple shots in view at any given time. So
We'll close with this, Pat, for the next edition of the Spicer Speaking podcast. When I have one guest, I typically add an essay, and this is an essay that I was considering. We've got a new show in town, and I believe at the most recent CV Firebirds game, I think from afar, I did see you there. Is that accurate?
I was there about a week ago, so you very well could have seen me.
Okay, my point being, I guess, is that I've been to some other places that I might usually go, and it kind of occurred to me that whether it be restaurants, entertainment options, what have you, other place people might spend money in the desert. I went to a few in recent weeks that I had a little more of a lens of quality because there's a new game in town, because there's a new show in town. And there were a couple that disappointed me. And I thought, you know what? You got to up your game a little bit now. There's another experience. There's another opportunity, whether it be for desert locals or guests. Obviously, you went to one of the hockey games. You saw what they have to offer. Did that consideration ever occur to you that, yeah, there is something else in the desert now? Hopefully, it's a complementary element. I like
For
to think
sure.
that that's what this community is all about, whether it be sports or entertainment. Um, I'm just curious if that crossed your mind that, hey, there's something else now. We got to up our game a little bit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we're cognizant of that. I mean, of course, also there's a Champions Tour event that takes place in March now as well. So we wish them the best. I mean, I think the more marquee sporting events and events overall in this valley is a good thing, right? So I mean, that venue is a beautiful world class venue certainly, and they're going to be able to have all sorts of different events from music to hockey to other stuff. So I think I'm excited for them. I think it's a great product. There's a lot of our partners who participate in both our event and support that. So we're looking forward to partnering with them, and I know that I think that they hope the same. And as event planners and operators, we all want to try and help one another, pick each other's brains, what works, what doesn't work. And so we certainly wish them all the best.
And I genuinely believe you when you say that, Pat. There are some markets that I've written about or I've visited, and I've kind of approached our desert sensibility with, hey, I'm going to write about this golf course. Maybe I can go to your neighbor. And they're not always like that. Some places have the claws out. They want to keep that customer base for themselves. But what I've always thought and felt, and what I've learned over a dozen years in the desert, is that folks are, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I guess, to borrow that old chestnut. I think folks genuinely believe that. To that effect, I do have a marketing idea for you, Pat. You can use it maybe in future years.
Okay.
This is what I want folks to do for the final round of the American Express after you get your tickets for the final round, Championship Sunday, again, online at the amexgolf.com. There is a hockey game later that day. So for a historic Coachella Valley double dip of sporting events, I want folks to go to the Amex on Sunday, stay, watch the conclusion, and then, at least in the case of this year, go watch like the last period of the hockey game. What a cool desert day that could be. You go watch, I don't know, Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, any of the names that we mentioned, and then you go catch a little pro hockey. I'm calling it the putt and puck. You can steal that if you want, Pat.
I like it. And also, of course, there, as you know, in all of our venues, we've got televisions up. So there will be a couple of big football games that day. So you can watch golf and television, have a beverage and some great food, and then pop on over there. I think it's perfect. Sounds like a Sunday fun day to me.
Friends, the 64th edition of the American Express coming back to the desert, La Quinta, California next week. Get your tickets today at the amexgolf.com. Just to remind, 4 of the top 6 in the world, 5 of the top 7, 9 of the top 19, 10 of the top 23 players will be right here in the desert proper, January 19th to the 22nd. We're talking Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, Tony Finau, Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, John Rahm, Sungjae Im, Will Zalatoris. The list goes on. It's not just top heavy, also a very deep field. Pat, thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to see you out on the grounds next week. And again, kudos, big backslaps on putting together such an excellent looking field for this season.
Judd, appreciate you having me on. Good to talk to you as always. And we'll certainly see you out here next week at PJ West and La Quinta Country Club.
Thanks, man. Congratulations on adding Palmer to the family circle. We'll see you in La Quinta next week.
Yes, sir. Take care.